Hello everyone, and welcome to the sixth and final lecture and week of the Designing Emergency Shelters online course by Open Online Academy. Until now, we worked on the design of a shelter that is for tropical climates, for areas that are affected by natural disasters and by wars. We went through many phases of the design. We started with precedent studies. We learned something from other shelters. We looked at the conflicts that have generated these migrations and have affected people and caused them to leave their homes. Afterwards, we started with the shelter design. We designed the cluster or the camp where the shelters are hosted. We further on designed the shelter, and in this week we are approaching the final phase, so we want to design the shelter with its construction details. In the course, we are striving to coming up with solutions that are feasible and that can be implemented after the course and built. This is why we are looking for really high definition of projects. We're not just looking for a schematic design, but we're looking for projects that could be taken out of the course and implemented. This is why we also chose a relatively small scale project. The shelter, which is anywhere between 20 and 30 square meters, it's relatively small. It doesn't have any bathroom or kitchen inside. It's basically one space where multifunctional space, which has structure and membrane and roof. So because of its scale, it allows us to go much further into the short period of our course, which is the 7 weeks that we have. In today's week, we will be discussing the construction details and how these shelters can be built, how they can be implemented in a relatively short period of time, how they can be transported to the site, and also mounted with relatively inexperienced labor. A lot of the people who live in the camps, they don't have work, so if we are able to create an opportunity for them to engage in the construction of shelters, that would be better for them to generate some additional income to the families, and would be better for the international agencies that operate the camps. This is why you have to keep in mind that we are either doing shelters that are prefabricated, so all the complex work in the construction has to be done in a factory before we take the shelters on the site, or we are working with local labor. For example, in times of natural disasters, there are tons of trees that have been broken, so a lot of local communities are using trees, are using bamboos, and are using local building techniques. This is a good way to empower local people, to create employment, and to stimulate the economical growth of these areas that have been affected by typhoons. As you know, humanitarian aid can only go this far. If organizations and companies and people donate money to countries that have been affected, but that is a solution in the short term, while what we're looking for is a long-term solution. We're looking for a solution in which we can empower people to rebuild their homes, to rebuild their society, and to have a long-lasting effect on these communities. The only way to do that is to stimulate the economy, local economy, to engage people into some work, to train them, to educate them, and to give them skills that they can later use for other work. If we train people in the camps to build shelters and to build these kind of minimum housing, then they can use these skills afterwards. After the end of the war, they can go to their home country or somewhere else, and the skills that they have learned from us could be implemented for something else. This is also the reason why we engage with UNHCR. We contacted a few of their camps in Kenya and South Sudan, and we invited actual refugees and camp leaders to participate in the course, to give us feedback and to help us with the design of these shelters. It has been a really interesting collaboration between professionals, people from all over the world, and also the actual refugees, people who know what it is to be in a camp, who know what the actual needs in a camp are. So in this final week of the course, it is really important to bring all these amazing solutions that we have come up with to an actual good end, and to design projects that are feasible, projects that are easy to build, projects that are low cost and that can be easily constructed on site with relatively unskilled local labor, and can be prefabricated before that somewhere in a factory and shipped to the camps. I invite you to work really hard with your teams and to take advantage of the opportunity that you have in this course for this broad international collaboration. Also to take advantage of the feedback that you're receiving from the professors in the course and our teaching assistants. If you want, you can post your project on our forums, and then we'll write back to you. If you have any questions, again, post them on the forum and we'll respond. We will discuss your projects as always on Saturday morning during our virtual meetings on Adobe Connect, so please join us. This is a great opportunity for you to present your project in real time to experts and to get some feedback from them. So I really encourage you to participate and to work hard on completing these projects. Thank you for being part of the course until now, and good luck for these final weeks until our submission 2 weeks from now.